Welcome back to the Audionals show. That was one of the rare times I play a song that isn't actually on chain yet. But it's just an interesting example of something. I mean, I wrote that about 20 years ago, but its basic composition is a single sample that's less than 2 seconds long. Everything else in that song, until we got to the end and I heard the organ, which I'd sort of forgotten about that. That's a little bit synthy, but other than the organ, all those other sounds I can already get from on chain. I can replicate them. I can create that mandolin sound. I can create that robotic noise through just code effectively. I can do all of these things with code. I can do the speeding up and the slowing down with code, as I've demonstrated already with what we're doing with the Audionals sequencer. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be one of my first sort of experiments with my own existing music. Obviously, I'm really pushing for trying to just write new music, form completely new pieces, but it is an interesting idea, finding the perfect song that has the minimal requirements for inscription to then be replicated on chain. I'd be really interested to see people who maybe worked with MPCs or like the EMU or the Akai samplers. People who wrote songs that were all based around 32 kilobyte samples being resequenced, because this is the sort of stuff that's perfect for just recreating note for note on chain. But yeah, it's been an exciting few days. I thought I'd just play a little bit of some of the music that's come out recently, and then show some of the stuff that is kind of just about to get updated on the sequencer. Some pretty exciting updates that really are going to open things even more creatively for people wanting to create new music. I'm just looking for a link here so I can go and look at the collections on Gamma. We've had another one come out today. Not today. It was it was an airdrop that went out on Monday, I think, for "I Love Cheese," the newest song, which has gone down pretty well. I'm still hoping to do a much bigger airdrop sometime soon, although I've just got to sort of figure out how to fund it. But I've got a pretty good idea about this generative stuff that I'm going to talk about tonight. There's a lot of cool stuff kind of going on, and even the generative stuff that I've been working on is it's very simple in terms of I've only just really started having a play with it, but already the results are really interesting, and I'm playing with very little material. I just started by taking the 2 or 3 songs that I've already inscribed and then working out how to sort of put all of those channels into a bucket, if you like, and then pull them out in random orders in order to generate, hopefully, say, a 10,000 collection of unique songs. They're all very similar sounding when I'm just using 3 songs, but I'll show you those in a bit, because it's pretty cool just to see the tech at work, even if it's a very simple version of it. But so a few weeks ago we brought out Truth. That was the first mellophonic and squeezy single, and the first Audionals recursive song using predominantly the OB1 collection of WAV quality studio samples inscribed on the blockchain at great expense, but they really make a difference. Having a few high resolution important instruments in your song means you can then create much more well-rounded sounding music on chain, and at a fraction of the cost, using the Audionals sequencer, because on here we can get I've done one 12-minute song, and it was 3 kilobytes to inscribe the master of the song, just 3 kilobytes. That's the total cost for the master, and then distribution is much, much cheaper than that. You're talking a few hundred bytes, 150 bytes, which is cents per copy to distribute. And then we can do all this other cool stuff with it, where we can start then creating these, I look at it as like a remix album. If I take these 3 songs, Truth and Freedom and I Love Cheese, which isn't showing up on here yet, because it's not been traded yet, but I can take those 3 songs and I can generate this 10,000 collection, and then sort of allow the market to decide which songs should be on the album. You take 10,000 auditions almost, and then it boils down to maybe the 10 that have traded for the highest price, or perhaps you have other voting where it's actually voting on the music or the visuals or whatever, and then put together an album that's just selected by mass engagement with something generative like this. It's just a super cool possibility that I'm really looking forward to exploring, but just got to kind of grow the audience a bit. It's still a bit quiet for music on chain with all this exciting stuff going on, but if you're new to us, have a listen to Truth. This was the first recursive song that we put out. I'm going to show it on this screen because you get the full movement. So that was Truth. That was the first collection ever put out using the recursive Audionals technology and the sequencer, using the 16 tracks, 16 channel sequencer to piece together that song. And there's 1,000 of them, and they sold out in around an hour, which was pretty incredible. And then after that, decided to try to get more people involved by doing a free mint with Gamma for freedom. And the point of this was to just try to get some more eyes and ears on the project. But in the end, I think I was a bit too restrictive. I restricted it to one per wallet for the public, and it was only a short mint. The mint was only open for, I think it was 24 hours. It might not have even been that long. So there's only 300 or 400 of those. I can't even remember how many there are. 394 of those of freedom. So that was what came next. Let's have a listen to one of these. Try this one. What level is it? These are all, each of these files, they all have their own attributes. Now, why is that not showing up here? They have these access levels which give you, this design. The sort of preset design is generic across all the collections at the moment, but the actual displays themselves are completely unique. They'll never be two the same, no matter even if we do millions of these. There'll never be two that are exactly the same. There's so many different random elements going into it, but the access level is the primary factor. Like an access level 1, which is the most common, has access only to the first layer of visual colors and effects, and then as the levels go up, they get access to higher levels and groups of levels until you get to level 10, which is the only one that has access to, I think, level 7 on the array. But that's how these traits work. Well, let's look at the color effects here. So I can see there's, for freedom, there's only one level 9. Let's have a look at that one. Oh, there's a 2 showing up there. Oh, it's the same one. Let's have a look. I might go over to the content page on Audionals just because it looks a bit better on there.
Freedom to Transact by Ash Lightstone. The freedom to transact is the freedom to be. It means I don't need your permission to do as I please and just be me. It's a freedom that we should all have. Without any conditions we have no say in. There shouldn't be any strings attached or any rhetoric about it being a sin. It's a freedom that allows us all to be equal in a manner that is profoundly meaningful. And for that reason they tell us it's dangerous. They say there's no way for it to be purposeful. When others don't want us to have this freedom, we have to stop and ask why. We have to ultimately see that it's about control and that their so-called protection is a lie. This is the ultimate freedom, the most significant one. All others are built on top of this, and without this, no other freedoms can be won. Freedom to transact. 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 Transact by Ash Lightstone. Freedom to transact by Ash Lightstone. Freedom to transact. To transact. Freedom 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 to transact. Not to transact. Freedom to transact. As not 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 freedom 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 to transact. As not 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 to by Ash Lightstone. By Ash Lightstone. By Ash Lightstone. By Ash Lightstone. By Ash Lightstone.
Ooh, yes. Sorry, I've just sort of realised as I was listening to that there's probably quite a few people who listen to the show each week, and I'm playing these massively long songs before I even start talking about the real alpha. Yeah, the alpha is buried deep behind a wall of music that's just getting bigger and wider by the minute. But I have definitely got some very cool stuff to show you after some cheese. So yeah, this is the latest off the off the shelf with Audionals. This is I Love Cheese, and this one was actually free. This was a free airdrop to let's see if I can just do that filter again and get the highest. There isn't a level 10, there's level 9s. This was a free airdrop to anyone who was holding a copy of Truth and Freedom. Hence there's even less of these, only 231. I think someone just needs to maybe offer a better price if they want to start trading, but I suppose these are the rarest of the lot. But I do really like this one as well. I Love Cheese. It's a remix of like the original song that I the first recursive song that I inscribed probably around a year ago, over a year ago now, which was with the 8-track Audional sequencer. So this is a kind of a homage to the original I Love Cheese. Once again, I'm going to go and watch this on the content page to get the best full view. Oh, sorry, I've been punishing my laptop again, and I've driven it to the point of distraction. Let me see if I can make that work a little bit better by giving it a clean start, because as you could hear, I think you could hear there was a crazy effect in Freedom then, because I accidentally started playing the video of the algorithm the algorithmically mixed song, which is a recording I made, which is 6 gigabytes, and it just completely fried everything. But hopefully, if I shut everything and then restart Chrome, maybe it will feel better about this now. Okay. Okay, let's try this now. Okay, so this is I Love Cheese, the airdrop to holders that went out about 24 hours ago. Whoa! Wow, I think it's OBS actually. OBS is the real big killer, and I can't get rid of that. So anyway, I'll move on back to the sequencer and what has been going on there. In fact, no, I was going to try to firstly show you some of this algo stuff that I've been playing around with, this experiment that I started just last night. Built something very very basic that uses the player, but it's a basic algorithm for generating algorithmically mixed variations. Where did I put it? Here we go. So let's see if this will work. It needs to be shrunken. Where is it? There it is. Okay. There's a bit of flicking about because I was recording this as I was doing it. I was just trying out different seeds, so it's very experimental. As I was going through it, I was just testing out different seeds. So you'll see it cutting backwards and forwards from my desktop as it goes. But I'll click through it a little bit. But you'll see some of the, like I said, it sounds very similar, but all of them are totally unique. And again, with a bit more material, I'll be able to get a bit more variation out of it. But have a little listen.
Freedom to transact. Freedom to transact. By Ash Lightstone. Freedom to transact. By Ash Lightstone. freedom to transact. The freedom to transact is the freedom to be. It means I don't need your permission to do as I please and just be me. It's a freedom that we should all have, without any conditions we have no say in. There shouldn't be any strings attached or any rhetoric about it being a sin. It's a freedom that allows us all to be equal in a manner that is profoundly meaningful, and for that reason they tell us it's dangerous. They say there's no way for it to be purposeful. When others don't want us to have this freedom, we have to stop and ask why. We have to ultimately see that it's about control, and that their so-called protection is a lie. This is the ultimate freedom, the most significant one. All others are built on top of this, and without this, no other freedoms can be won. Freedom to Transact by Ash Lightstone.
Yeah, so I do really like some of those. You know, there's some leverage in that for sure. When you think about it, that's just 3 songs, 3 16-channel songs, so well, that's 48 channels to choose from. But there's a lot of 16-channel variations that you can get just from that. I think I could pretty easily do a 10k collection without any two being the same. And there's also other ideas about having, you know, just a kind of regular single where there's just a few outliers that just have, you know, some additional sounds, but that's all doable. But what that really leads me on to is as I was going through this process to make this work, I had to upgrade the sequencer so I could do the stuff that I wanted to do there that I've been showing you, so I could sort of get that working. But so part of that process involved trying to make additional sequences using the slave setup, so that there's a second sequencer that just takes all of its controls from the primary sequencer. And because actually when I built the sequencer is very restrictive, it's been a long journey as I've been building it, but by the time I came to actually creating the on-chain engine that would be able to then play these creations, I did have the I guess the experience by that point to consider how I might be able to leave the player in more of an open position. So that's what I tried to do, was leave the player so it was open-ended. And so now I've been able to really thrash it out, and I've had one song with 64 parts playing simultaneously, and actually the only problem was way too much gain. It was just overdriving the main bus, but other than that, timing wise, it kept up with it. So I don't know how far we can take this, but it's pretty cool. And so just to demo it, I was just going to show you what I did. Was I remember what I did now. I loaded a song in here, which I think was I Love Cheer. Oh, didn't I put them at the top here? I think it was these two. So I opened this in my master, then you open the second sequencer. It does have buttons and stuff, but actually I'm trying to get rid of those because when you put continuous play on here, oh, it hasn't done it. Am I using the wrong version? I am, aren't I? Yes, I need to be using the production version, of course. 1 second. Hold the line caller. Just realised that I've just left the Audionals show screen up, so you couldn't see the sequencer then anyway. So this is the master, but yes, I've got to open it from in here. That one. No. This one. Okay, pretty sure that's it. Oh yeah, got these layout issues. Right, so this is the primary sequencer. I think I need to rethink the naming there. So this is the primary sequencer, so now we can load a song into here, or of course just start writing something new. We can load that in here, then I can open the second one, which will open automatically in a new tab. Oh look, I have got rid of some of the buttons here, so it doesn't have as many buttons, but it's going to listen to what's going on in here. So if I put this in continuous play, this is also in continuous play, so I can now load another song. whole song in here, like this one. Because this one is taking all of its cues from the master player, it's basically just taking on the same BPM as well. It's just replicating everything, and it will just play sequence for sequence, but in time. So it allows you to take two songs and remix them, or just write a song that's got, you know, more tracks, 32 channels, 64 channels. Admittedly, right now, I am displaying it in two tabs. So I'm flicking between two tabs, but they're perfectly synced up, and I will figure out how to get the layout so that you can drop these secondary and third, you know, 16 channel sequences below. So you'll just be able to scroll up and down like you would in a regular sort of arrange window. But yeah, have a little listen. This is two songs kind of stitched together. Maybe I'll show you just a little bit of this one on its own. Oh, I can't play on its own, can I? I can if I load it in its own window. No, not like that. Like this. So this is just something that I kind of threw together to sort of make something that could be mixed with I Love Cheese, but was using all different instruments and different different rhythms. But just to show you what it sounds like, just a little bit.
Bitcoin is going to zero.
So yeah, so that was something that was kind of built for purpose, just to try to create something that could mix together well with the first version. So if I close that now and go back to these, we've got the primary and the secondary sequences here. They're already all queued up, continuous play is on, and I hit play, and this is, I mean, this is very, again, very basic. You know, there's no mixing going on here. It's probably going to overload a bit, but it's showing you, you know, it's playing 32 channels, as it would just a 32 channel mix if you were working in a single arrange window. And then because of this stuff I've been working on for the generative stuff, it's a very simple algorithm now just to stitch those two together. You just save them separately, so you would hit save in this window and you get a save file for the primary, go into the secondary, hit save. You've now got two separate files. They're named whatever you had them named here, so you might name them part 1 and part 2, and then I can stitch those together. It's a very simple thing to stitch them together into a larger arrangement. And this also means, you know, it's kind of endless. I was trying 64 channels actually playing pretty much simultaneously, but with this ability to create 32, 48, 64 channels, and then move into a new sequence, a new set of inscribed URLs, it really kind of opens things up to unending mixes. The first way I'll demonstrate this, I guess, is with the album that I'm kind of working on for Mellophonic. Once I've got 10 inscribed songs, then we'll mint the album, and the album will be the best kind of value that we get to, because once people are buying the album, obviously all holders of the singles will just get airdropped a copy or a combination of singles. You know, there'll be some airdrops for holders, but for the greater population who might at this point be going, oh, you know, wow, there's a full album on Bitcoin, and it's high resolution. It's not compressed, and also it's still the same file size. There's no difference in file size for distribution at all, whether it's 10 songs, 100 songs, an anthology. The cost of production will be cents, less than $1. And so it can be distributed cheaply as well. It can be a really good deal for everyone, or in a really efficient system, which is just going to be great for musicians and music lovers alike, because there's even so much more to it than that. But that's the really important thing. That's how we get these things to scale, is by making it meaningful to those who are participating, primarily the musicians, because they're the ones who get the short end of the stick at the moment. But once you've got a fertile industry growing on chain full of musicians who are seeing the benefits of this and bringing more talent, it's going to be like a tipping point, and we're suddenly going to have a huge amount of not just audio but plugins to create lots of different audio. Like that song I played at the very beginning, to recreate that song in my head, my plan, I have to inscribe less than 2 seconds of music, and then everything else I can do programmatically, probably for less than 10 kilobytes between all of the 5 programs that I might inscribe to create the effects that are used on different sections of that sample to create pretty much everything else that's going on in that song. So we're close. We're very close to some really exciting stuff, and all we really need is just more creatives just jumping in and having a play with this stuff. It's not closed off. It's open to everybody. Doing my best to make it bug free, and it's still got the feeling of being a pioneer, which you are. But if you spend the time, just a couple of days trying to play with this thing, I feel like I'm a natural on it now. It's really quick and easy for me to very quickly kind of set up a song. I've got my loops like this here. I know that Longstreet 8-bit, that's a loop. I was going to play you this, wasn't I? Right, I better do that before I get distracted again. Let's have a listen to this. So this is mixing 2 16-channel songs together. I have inscribed this one, but I haven't inscribed this one yet, so I can't do this on chain. But again, I'm 1 kilobyte away. I don't think this is going to be 1 kilobyte, this version. It's probably half a kilobyte to inscribe that, and then I will be able to achieve this unique mix of these 2 songs on chain really easily. So yeah, that's pretty exciting in and of itself. I've also updated like the volume and pitch, so you're able to edit them manually, which is just really helpful internally. Same with the pitch, so you can really fine tune it. You can do any number of decimals as well, so you can really fine tune the hell out of something to make sure that it's exactly the right tone. I've also added some menu options over here. Channel name, I've taken the synth out just for now because it just needs some work. You've also got copy channel names. You can copy a channel, you can copy an ordinal ID, so it's really simple if you wanted to say get two different sections. That's probably not the best wave example. Sorry, I have got some issues with the layout of the beta version at the moment, but if you wanted to get two different sections to sample, like if we look at that one, so if I wanted to use this as one sample, but then I wanted to also sample the other end of it, what I can do is just right click, copy the ordinal ID, right click here, paste the ordinal ID. Yeah, it's a bit fiddly, some of it, but we could just copy the channel name and paste the channel name, and so now we've got that sample in here as well, but we can now select this other section because we want this section to play on this channel. So so now we can have the same sample but a different section of it. Oh, I forgot, I've still got that open. Yeah, so different section of it there, so you can do that. And then I've also added a thing, so I could do copy ordinal ID. This is more if you wanted to like experiment. Now that we've got all these extra channels, you could just take just this mellophonic bass, for example. You've got these patterns at the end which will fill every one, then every other one, then every fourth, then every eighth, and every 16th. So you can scroll through, quickly lay out patterns like this. But you could take this mellophonic bass, for example, and if we copy that onto another channel, so we've got it twice, and then we can also, this little arrow here allows you to shift a pattern along, so we can set the same pattern. This is now the same sound. If I just mute everything else, I need a group mute. That would be good, wouldn't it? So this is just playing the same sample. I'm not sure if there's a trim on there. That one's on the edge. They just sounded like they weren't quite together there. Yeah. So we'll just trim that. Like so. So then we've got basically the same note. But now with the pitch we can start to alter that note. So half would be an octave down, so we go oh. And like I said, you can fine tune it here, so yeah, so you could take this and we say copy ordinal ID, and then we say paste to all channels. It gives you a little warning just to say you're going to mess everything up if you do this, and say OK. It hasn't changed the names, but that has made every channel. So you can hear some of them already have different effects. They got pictures on there already. It's remembered everything that's on there. It's literally just put the sample into. Any pitch, volume, trim that was on there is still on there, but now the whole thing is one instrument. So I could set that up as all different notes, and this could just be one section that you inscribe as a 4-bar, an 8-bar, a 16-bar section, which again would be a few hundred bytes. Probably not much more than 200 bytes if you were doing a 4 or 16 bar section. And now you can just pull that in recursively to a new song. And the other cool thing is if I was to choose a song that is a different tempo, let's find one that is not 105. Is that one not 105? No, that is. Where's a fast one? That's 105. Where is one that's fast? What's this one? It might be discordant if I do this, but it. Okay, so this is slower. So then this is going to be out of time, but you'll get the point. So if I take this, what's this one? Minty Fresh Vibes. So go in here, we'll open the secondary, and then we're going to load Minty Fresh Vibes into the secondary. So where is it? Really Fresh Vibes. Oh, that wasn't it. It's one of these ones, is it? Oh, there's so many of them. Okay, let's go for that one then. Okay, so this should. It hasn't updated the BPM. Okay, I may have imagined that then. Or I haven't done this right. Maybe we'll start. Maybe I need to load this again. So load the primary, load a song. Yeah, one of those. Then open this, and then load up the song that was a different tempo. One of those. Yeah. Still hasn't changed the tempo. Okay, I may have imagined that. Oh no, it has changed it now. I need to get rid of that. Okay, so now we've got past that bit where it was completely out of whack, but now you can see the secondary has changed the BPM, and now that we've not got that that lead, that is, now that we're on to just parts that are all short transient sounds, you'll hear that it's mixing them together now. yeah, so there you go. That's the demo. That's the alpha there. That's pretty huge. If you know your music stuff, the ability to just keep adding channels there, and the player is already inscribed. The player can handle all of this stuff. It can handle any number of channels. So the sky's the limit. So yeah, looking forward to getting more music. There is quite a few people starting to do some stuff and send me bits and pieces, but we need more. We need more noise and more people who understand how to use it and can then teach other people how to do it. Because the whole point of this was to get the cost down so that we can get the creativity up. People don't have to be precious about it. You can make your music this very valuable, immutable, permanent feature, part of a technical watershed moment. And it's right here. It's the opportunity to be part of creating history is just here at Audionals.com. So I haven't updated the that is the beta version, as I said when I was showing it, so probably within a few days I'll have tested it enough to get that on there. But if you use the /beta _xi, that is the current best working version, and then the version I've just demonstrated tonight will be available soon. So get in there, and remember, this isn't just about music. I'm making music, but it's all sorts of stuff you can do with this, especially now that we've got this kind of ability to have never-ending sequences that overlap and pass from one into another. We can start to think about making, soundtracks, long, winding narratives, without any of the cost. So bring it on. Do I have anything else to play? Not sure I do. I might just close with the same song I opened with, the old Russian Rampage. Yeah, it was called Russian Rampage, that song. Doesn't sound so ironic now. But yeah, thanks a lot. And yeah, I'm going on holiday next week. I might be able to pull in a show from where I am. I don't even know if I'll have good internet or reception. But if I have, I'll be keeping in touch, and yeah, no doubt hearing and being part of more exciting conversations of what we can do with this stuff beyond some of the things that I've thought of, which is pretty much just writing music. But I know there's so much more we can do with this tech. Just need some people to come in and demonstrate it. So with that, thank you, and yeah, hopefully I will come back next week with some reception from where I am in West Wales. Thanks for joining, and see you next week.